love Celeste. It's got everything I could ever want from a modern platformer. Tight controls, fresh ideas and mechanics, beautiful art, fun level design, a banging soundtrack, and of course, a story that's actually somewhat interesting. Yeah, Mario, I'm looking at you. In Celeste, you play as a girl named Madeline, whose goal is to reach the summit of Celeste Mountain. There's two main mechanics. You can hold onto walls for a short period of time, and you can also perform a dash in any direction. You have to use these two mechanics in tandem to climb through the various deadly traps along your path. This can include the general spikes and death pits of any old platformer, as well as a ghost or an evil version of yourself. The game resets you at the beginning of a screen if you die, so each different screen acts as its own level. You will have to travel through many unique areas, each having their own interesting quirks to them. Right off the bat, I just want to say that it's impossible to put into words how good this game feels to play. I could talk all day about how great this game controls, but you'll never really know until you actually play it for yourself. It's very obvious that there was a lot of time and effort put into making the basic mechanics of this game feel just right. Movement in this game is just so satisfying and precise. It's definitely one of the smoothest feeling platformers I've played in a long time. But the mechanics aren't the only thing that got this treatment. Every aspect of this game has a lot of passion put into it, and it shows. For one, the art shown off in this game is incredibly gorgeous. The environments just look stunning, bursting with beautiful colors and incredible attention to detail. But what makes the levels and environments complete is the amazing soundtrack that this game has. It takes the stylistic design of the game and it brings it up to another level. All the sounds in this game are expertly chosen to fit the mood of the game, and just like the art, the sound design also has a great attention to detail. Like when the music starts to sound far off and echoey, building the intensity and letting you know that you found something important or even secret. It's a great touch that adds a lot to the experience. Back onto the topic of the gameplay, Celeste's levels all have a lot to offer. Each area has its own different kinds of obstacles and mechanics that give their levels a unique feel to it. Like the crystal that grants you another air dash, these bubble things that give you a boost in any direction you choose, or a feather that grants you a short flight period. But the mechanics aren't just abandoned once an area is finished. Each area builds on the next, and by the end of the game, you'll be using everything you've learned on your journey. The levels themselves are very well designed. They're a lot of fun, and they give a moderately difficult challenge even to seasoned platformer players. There's also plenty of different things to collect, such as the strawberries, which are sometimes hidden but most of the time are just there to add an extra challenge to each level. To get a strawberry, you have to first collect it, but then also land to actually receive it. So you can't just lob yourself at it and die, you have to actually beat the level, or at least part of it, while collecting the strawberry. The strawberries don't really get you anything besides bragging rights and a slightly different picture at the end of the game, but I always tend to go for them anyway, because the main levels aren't always the most challenging. That's not to say that they can't be hard in places, but once you start to master the mechanics, it's a lot of fun to push yourself and see what you can do. Speaking of extra challenges, there's also a collectible called the B-Sides. There's one of these tapes in each area, usually found off the beaten path in a sort of secret location, not usually too hard to find or anything, and they unlock a whole new set of alternate levels for that area. The B-side levels are a lot of fun, as well as a whole lot harder than the levels in the main game. On top of that, there's also levels that you can unlock after you've beaten the main game. There's these things called crystal hearts hidden in different areas, and they unlock some special levels that will test your skills even further. The other thing that makes Celeste so special is its characters. Like I said before, you play as Madeline, a lonely girl who has promised herself that she'd climb the mountain. But the mountain gives all her depressed and nasty thoughts a body that attacks her along the way. Eventually, through the help of your newfound friend Theo and advice from the crazy old mountain lady, you're able to work out your problems and work together with that seemingly detrimental part of yourself. The internal fighting and struggle is all too relatable. We're climbing a physical mountain, but the mountain is just an allegory for the struggles we have to overcome in daily life. Even if you've never experienced much struggle in your own life, it's enjoyable all the same to watch the character of Madeline grow and overcome the hurdles in her life that have been holding her back. And if you're not one for story, well, don't worry, this game is still fun as hell. I had no qualms going back to replay the game for this video. Celeste is just packed with fun and intense moments that leave you itching for more. I didn't have to go and replay every part of the game for this video. I could have just played a couple sections or so, but I wound up playing the whole thing again, plus some. Anyway, that's why I like this game. It's challenging, fun, and packed with tons of extra content. If you have not played it, do. It's absolutely worth it. Peace.